Good morning, good morning, good morning. You know what today is? Monday Morning Chats with Sack, and Sack is me. I hope that you guys had a great weekend. I had a really good weekend. Like, it was a really good weekend. I got a chance to, one, have orientation with my students for the spring semester. And then I got a chance to do a vision board, which I'll later talk about. Just talk about like some of my things that I see for my future, whether it happens this year or next year. But before I go into my little spill motivation, I want to, one, give a shout out to those that are studying for the February bar exam. It doesn't matter whatever prospective state that you're taking a bar exam in. I am praying for you. You got this. The bar exam is a tough exam, but you got it. Those 3 years of law school, you actually did the work to get where you're at today. So if you're studying for the bar exam, you got this. Always remember that you know more than what you think you know. A lot of times when students are studying for the bar, they just assume that they just don't know anything. But you went 3 years of law school, maybe four, maybe five, just depending on your track. You went to 4 years or even 5 years of undergraduate school. And maybe prior to law school, you got a second degree, whether it was a second bachelor's or even a master's degree. So you got it. So let me encourage you that if you ever get discouraged, remember why you started. And if you get too overwhelmed, make sure you take a break. I think a lot of times when it comes to studying, especially for law students, that we assume that we don't have enough time in the day to take a break. No, you need a break. Your brain needs a break. So if you need to walk outside or if you need to get some water or even exercise, make sure you definitely do that. For those students that are coming back for the spring semester, and this is their last semester of law school, I'm so proud of you. You know, law school is a big accomplishment, and you did it. This is the last thing. But I will tell you that you will miss law school. I could say that honestly, I somewhat miss law school. I don't miss the exams, but I miss my friends. I miss just the my whole, my just the activities that I did, just everything that I had to do, my daily routine. I do miss that. So if that's your last semester in law school, congratulations. I will welcome you with open arms into this elite profession. Let's say this is your end of your second year, you're almost there. Or if this is your second semester, your first year. Hey, maybe you got an idea of how law school is. It's not that bad, but you have to always believe that you can and you will. That's with any goal that you have. If you want to be successful, you want to accomplish it, just believe in yourself and know that you can do it. Maybe this is the first day back for some students that are in middle school or high school. Always keep track of what you want to do. Be cautious of who you hang out with. Everybody is not your friend. Everybody can't go where you're going at. So please keep that in mind. If you're a college student, this is the time to be focused on your grades. It's one thing to have fun, but also remember why you're there. You're there for your education. So that is my spill. But I hope that you guys had a great weekend. I just hope that last week was amazing. I just hope that this week is even better. So I want to read something. I really, really, really like this affirmation. I read affirmations every day. And this is an affirmation that I've received this morning. I appreciate every morning as a gift. I see it as an opportunity for me to release yesterday and start fresh today. I embrace it as a chance to care for myself and create the love and happiness I desire. I welcome the ability to lead in the direction of my dreams. I appreciate that where I am is where I need to be. I trust my path, my purpose, and the timing of my blessings. I believe that today I will have everything I need to succeed. This affirmation is everything because it ties into my vision board, and I will show you guys. So Saturday night, I did a vision board. I'm not sure if you guys are able to see this. So I did a vision board. But the center of my vision board is happiness. Sometimes I thought like you had to accomplish certain things in your life to be happy. whether it's buying a house, whether it's getting married, whether it's having a child, whether it's getting that really good job. And sometimes you question yourself, like, are those things, do those things make you happy? Like, do you need to reach different levels of your life to be happy? And I realized that, it's okay to just really enjoy the journey. Like when people will make comments like, yeah, I purchased a house before 30. I got my house at 32. And that's still an accomplishment. And I love my house. I love being a homeowner. March will be 2 years that I had my house, and it went by fast. But what makes that different is someone that purchased their house at 40 or 50 years old or even 60 years old. It's still an accomplishment. And one of the things that I see is that sometimes we think about happiness based on what we see other people have. Just because someone has it on social media, that does not define your happiness. Your happiness should be defined by your own terms. So what if someone has a better car than you? Maybe it's not your time to get that car. I know that when I was in law school, all my friends had a car besides me. I will be happy to get on public transportation. I will pay 60 cents because as a law student, we were able to get a discounted bus pass. So I paid my 60 cents and got on the bus to wherever I need to go. Some of my friends would take me places if I need to, offer them gas money, or whatever the case may be. But maybe that was my time to really focus. I know me, if I had a car, I would be out. Like going to the mall just to get out. And that allowed me to focus. So I think about the different things in my life, and I think about, well, maybe I was supposed to be there. Like even though I wanted better, or even though not better, but even though I wanted more, it wasn't my time yet. And sometimes we question, where we're at. Sometimes I'll be like, God, what you doing in my life? Like I asked for X, Y, and Z. Why didn't I get those things? And I realized like he was really developing me. Like I can't ask for certain things, and I still got things I need to work on in the inside. And that's why it's funny when people say like, Sakina, like you're calm, you're so peaceful. And I'm like, yo, I really had to do the work. Like I was always a positive person, but I had to fight demons to be at peace with how I am now. And it doesn't mean that I don't get upset. I'm human. I have feelings, but I've learned to control how I react to different things. And that took some time. That's not something that just happened overnight. Like that really took some time. So your happiness, how do you define happiness? I'll see people like, hey, you make me complete, but aren't you complete by yourself? That's good to have somebody to add to you, but you should be complete. What makes you happy? Is your happiness attached to things? Like, do you have to have the most expensive car? Do you have to have the most expensive house? Do you have to have the most expensive clothing? Is your happiness tied into one person? What if you lose all of that tomorrow? Are you still happy? I truly believe if my happiness is attached to somebody, it's okay for someone to add to my happiness, whoever it may be. But if my happiness is attached to someone, like I can only be happy if I have this, then I'm not happy. And so my question to you is, how do you define your own happiness? People think I'm crazy. My girlfriend yesterday, we were talking on the phone yesterday. She was like, Sakina, you're a grandma, but you're not a grandma. I'm like, I know. And there's times where I will go places by myself. I never really cared about being in groups. And I think that's because I come from a very large family. So growing up, I always hung out with my cousins. And it's a lot of us. I have over 30 first cousins. And we're really close. I have a really big family. So I didn't really care about groups. When I was in college, my friends would tell you, I would go to lunch by myself. I would go to lunch by myself and write in my planner. And I still do that to this day. And so what defines your happiness? What makes you happy? I think that is so important. Like the things that I pray for, I said, God, before you give me those things, can you make me a better person? What are the things I need to work on the inside? Is there some stuff with me? Is there some people that I really need to forgive? And even though some people piss me off, I don't want to clap back. So how, can you show me how I need to handle this person? Can you tell me how I'm supposed to talk to this person? Because I really want to clap back at them, but I know that that's not what you want from me. So before I ask for anything, I got to look at myself and say, am I ready to handle it? Am I ready to receive that? And you have to be transparent with yourself. Like, maybe you're not ready for that. Like, maybe you're not. I know one of the biggest things for me was failing the bar. Like, I was so upset. Like, when you're going through the journey, you may not appreciate it until you overcome what you're facing. And so for me, as my example, failing the bar exam, it's one thing to graduate from law school. It was a big accomplishment. But I didn't celebrate that moment. Like, I had a really big graduation party, and it was over 100 people that came to my party. It was in Philly in 2013. It was March the 2nd, 2013. Huge party. I had over 100 people that came. And I was happy. I cried at my graduation. I was happy that I graduated. It was a great feeling for me, but I didn't feel accomplished because I was studying for the bar, but I didn't pass it yet. And so when it came to happiness, I was like, I can only be happy once I become licensed. So graduating from law school, yeah, it was an accomplishment, but I didn't feel happy. And so then moving forward, as I'm studying for the bar, I take the bar exam, I fail it, and I felt defeated, like so defeated. And I didn't think about, all the things I accomplished. I didn't care about those things. I just thought about that one hurdle in my life. Like, wow, I didn't accomplish the bar. Like, I didn't pass it. Like, I feel like a failure, all these things. But my happiness was so tied into that I didn't think about the other things that I was blessed with. I had good health at the time. I had a place that I was able to stay at. I had all these great things to be grateful for. But because I didn't pass the bar, like, nothing else didn't matter for me. So as I'm going through the journey, failed the bar once, just felt defeated. Failed the bar twice. Now I'm in my own studio apartment, and I'm like, damn, I'm trying to apply for these jobs to become a lawyer so I can make more money. I wasn't working. I was a graduate student at the time, and I was like, I don't know what God want me to do. Like, I really don't know. Like, I don't know. Like, how am I able to pay my bills? I can't live off my savings for long. Like, this money is running low. Like, I will make a meal Monday, and I will make that stuff stretch out to like Friday. And I would never really tell anybody, and I was like, I can only be happy once I become licensed. Like, I can only be happy once I become licensed. Then I failed the bar the third time, and I was so close. This time I had a job, and instead of me being grateful, like, God, thank you for allowing me to get a job during these difficult times, I wasn't as happy. Like, I thought that time that I got it right. Like, I think I passed it this time, and I was so close. And then when I studied and took it for the fourth time, I passed it. And it was just like this big monkey that was on my back that finally fell off. And I felt like I could be happy. And it wasn't until 2016 when I had a pulmonary embolism. And I almost lost my life. Like, a pulmonary embolism, if you guys don't know, it's a blood clot. And the blood clot, it traveled from my leg to my lung. And I did not know. Like, my leg was swell. Like, my left leg was huge. Like, my left leg was huge. And I just kept thinking, like, oh, it's not bad. It would just go down. It's not bad. And I remember my mom was like, you need to go to the hospital. Like, you need to go to the... I was like, Mom, it's not bad. Kind of... If I did not go to the hospital, that blood clot that traveled to my lung would have traveled to my heart, and it would have killed me if I did not get treatment. But I remember I was sitting on my hospital bed right before I had the procedure so that way they could remove the blood clot. And I just thought about life. I was like, Dad, at the time I wasn't working. I got laid off. And honestly, I didn't even care about a job. I didn't care whether or not how my bills were going to get paid. I didn't care about none of those things. I just wanted to be healthy because I was in a life-death situation. And at that time, I started thinking about, damn, like, I could have been happy here if I just really appreciated the process. I could have been happy in 2013, the fact that I was able to sit for the bar exam, because although I graduated from law school, some people can't sit for the bar exam because they have so many things with character and fitness that makes them unfit to be an attorney. So I've known people that went through that. So I was like, I didn't appreciate the little things. Like, And I can tell you on my board, if you guys can see it, it says, make sure the time is right. And this is important for me only because I thought that I was ready to be a lawyer at 26, and in 2013 I thought I was ready, but honestly God made me ready at 28. And I say that to say that I had to struggle, and I appreciate the struggle now. Like, I love helping people. And some areas of the law can be very stressful, and there's some things I just try to stay away from because I believe in mental health and peace at all times. But that timing in 2013, it wasn't for me. 2014 was my year. And I wish that I can go back and say, you know what, hey, maybe this is not my time. And I should appreciate the process, but sometimes you got to go through things in life to make you appreciate it. So my happiness now, I enjoy every second. And I try my best to enjoy every second of my life, whether I'm just home. Like yesterday, Sunday, I had dinner and I sat on my couch and I watched the football games. I didn't care about nothing else. I didn't do no work. I didn't answer no emails. I looked at football. Sunday is church and football. I did church, virtual church, Sunday morning, and I looked at all the games. And I was happy. Yes, I was happy that the Steelers did lose. Yes, I was happy for that because I like to talk trash in my family group chat when we talk about football. But that's a different story for a different day. So, your happiness, is it tied to a thing? Is it tied to a person? And for me, happiness start with myself. Like, I gotta make sure I am happy. Like, what am I doing to make myself happy? Anybody else that does something for me, that just adds to it. If my happiness is contingent on somebody else, I may never be happy. So how do you define happiness? How do you define it? It should be on your own terms. Last thing I would like to say. There's something, so the middle of my board, as you can see, is at happiness. There's one thing I want to leave with. So I was with a group of college girlfriends. Some I haven't seen in over 10 years. And it was like we never missed a beat. Like, we talked throughout the 10 years that we didn't see each other. But it was one thing to just be in each other's space. Like, we talked about the college parties that we went to, and just like the fun time, like the really fun time, like the parties off campus, Greek life, just a great time. And I didn't know my friends remember certain things about me. Like, one thing about me in college was I lived on campus. I always lived on campus. My first 2 years, my first year and a half of college, I lived in the dorms. And the rest, I lived in either a townhouse or an apartment on campus. And one of my girlfriends that was here, we actually lived in a townhouse together. So I didn't know that she remembered some of the things that we did when we were in college. But here's one thing I want to leave you with. On my vision board, it'll say they'll remember you how much they love you by dinner. So if you know me, I like to cook. And when I was in college, mainly in my apartments in my townhouse, I cooked. I wasn't the good cook as I am now, but I knew how to cook back in the day. And so my girlfriend said, Sakina, I remember this stir fry that you made. I know it was like 10 years ago, but I still remember that. And she kept saying, can you make that for me when I come there? And I was all for it. And my girlfriend, one of my best friends was like, no, you cook all the time. I need you to stay away from the stove. No, no, no. And I didn't think she remembered it. And so I just thought about me. I love to host. Like, I love to host events. I love to put things together. And I love to cook. And so the one thing that people know about me is cooking. And if I cook for you, I care about you. So, like, if it's some of my close friends, I'll make them a dish. If I know it's family coming into town, I'll make something I know that they will like. That's just who I am. So what would people remember you by? Is it by your positivity? Is it by your negativity? Are you the person that always yell and scream? And are you the person that when you walk in the door, people turn their head? Like, what would people remember you by? I think for me, people will remember me by that I listen. I love to cook. I am a kind person. I'm positive. I don't like negativity. That's just not me. So what will people remember you by? In your happiness, how would you define your own happiness. Define happiness on your own term. Please do not get caught up with the stuff that you see on social media. To me, some of that shit is fake. I think that you should define what you want in your life by your own terms. People will post things to make it seem like they got this big life. Listen, I am not rich. One day I will be. I am appreciative of the things I have. I don't have this huge house. I have the house that's made exactly for me. It is an old home. I always wanted my old home to be remodeled, and I got that. I don't have a luxury car. I have a nice car. It's pretty cool. Had it for 5 years. Well, April will be 5 years. It's the first time I actually like purchased a car off the lot instead of getting like an old used car. But I appreciate the good things that I have now, and I just can only imagine if I keep working hard, if I trust God before all things, I can get the things that I later desire. But maybe this is not my time. I'm here to save, pay down debt, be a blessing to others, keep God first of all things, and that's it. So I hope that this encouraged you guys. I hope that it encouraged you to be great. I encourage you to define happiness on your own terms. Don't compare your happiness to anybody else. But you got it. And you're amazing. And you're phenomenal. I hope that you have a great Monday. I hope that you have a phenomenal Tuesday. I hope that your Wednesday is amazing. I hope that your Thursday is spectacular. And I hope that your Friday is extraordinary. I hope that your weekend is lit. And most importantly, I hope and pray that you just never forget how amazing you are. Yes, it's crazy stuff that we see on the news, but you are still great. You are still dope. And you will do phenomenal things. Take care, guys. And again, happy Monday. Take care.